Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest in our CME Palooza Fall moderator interviews. I am Scott Kober, one of the CME Palooza co-producers, along with Derek Warnick. Derek is on the road, so I'm going to be handling this one solo. But I am happy to be joined today by John Ruggiero. John is the Group Manager of Medical Education and Research at Genentech. And prior to joining Genentech, he served as Senior Vice President for Medical Education and Outcomes at the Institute for Continuing Healthcare Education in Philadelphia. John has held positions at Catholic Health East Healthcare System, while also holding the Dean of Students position at St. Francis Medical Center Schools of Nursing, Radiography, and Medical Research in Trenton, New Jersey. John was also an adjunct professor for biostatistics and epidemiology at Drexel University College of Nursing and Health Professions since 2006. So thank you for joining us today, John.
Thank you.
And John will be moderating one of our CME Palooza Fall sessions on Wednesday, October 15th. He'll be moderating the 1 p.m. Eastern Time session, so that'll actually be 10 a.m. on the West Coast for him, which is called "What Do Supporters Do with Outcomes Data?" This is one of 6 main sessions that will be held during CME Palooza Fall. We're actually going to be adding a 7th session here in the next couple weeks. So this agenda is actually going to grow a little bit. So today we're just going to run through a couple questions with John, just to kind of give just to get his insight a little bit on CME, a little bit on his actual session, just to get a little bit of flavor for what people are about to see. So let's move into question number 1. Okay, John, question number 1. Why are you optimistic about the future of CME?
You know, I think it's a great question. Thank you for asking that. First of all, thank you for allowing me to be part of this. I'm really excited to be part of such an event, which is getting a great reputation, by the way. What makes me optimistic about CME? You know, I am really encouraged that many people within our industry are starting to talk about engagement and learning, not just certified or continued medical education. I think that moving forward in our industry, especially with issues related to healthcare reform, we need to start focusing on what it takes to become implementation science managers, or start speaking the language of implementation science, so that we can actually start addressing tactics or activities, if you will, that are related to engagement and learning. So what kinds of CME programs can be done? What kinds of patient education programs can be done? What kind of peer-to-peer interactions can we all be part of, whether we're on the supporter or provider side? And these are things that I think the future will entail, and I'm really looking forward to having conversations like that in the future as well.
Great. Okay, so question number 2. What scares you about the future of CME?
Very interesting question. I try to make sure that I don't scare myself about anything within my profession or stay up at night worrying about things that are related to my profession. I guess what I will say is maybe some of the concerns that I have about our profession, our industry, is that sometimes I question whether or not we're fragmented. And I hope that anything from our membership organization to our coalition group to the accrediting bodies that we deal with learn how to all approach the topic of healthcare reform and continued medical education, continued engagement and learning tactics in a way that's very similar to what the ultimate goals will be. And I think that some of the fragmentation, if you will, concerns me that we have an industry of professionals who are greatly skilled in continuing education, and sometimes I feel tend to focus a bit on some of the issues that maybe we should leave some of the experts to focus on. For example, I hear a lot about Sunshine Act and concerns about how Sunshine Act is going to impact our industry. Obviously a relevant concern, and with the new CMS recommendations or further recommendations that may happen, I know and can appreciate why people would be concerned. But these are somewhat issues that I think that we can get past I think we need to start addressing more relevant issues, things like quality improvement and clinical integration and things along the lines of engagement and learning, like I said already. Really spend our energy on those issues,
Hmm.
leaving some of the other political issues to the people who are experts to deal with that, inserting ourselves where necessary. So maybe if I can summarize what I just said, let's not all be distracted and
Hmm.
instead really focus on what we're skilled at, engagement and learning.
No, I think that that's a good point because as you say that there is a lot of talk about political things in CME right now, and because people can kind of take specific actions against it, perhaps it's a little bit easier to kind of turn our attention to that instead of some of the more kind of
Sure.
abstract, larger issues.
I agree with you. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Great.
We have some great skilled experts that are really, really attached to government affairs, both on the provider side and the supporter side, that can help us address some of these issues. Let's stick with what we should be focused on, where education is moving at this point.
Great. Okay, question number 3. What do you feel has been the most important change to CME in the last 5 years?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I am really encouraged to see that outcomes plans have been enhanced. I'm really encouraged to see that people are not just taking the Moore's 7 level of outcomes, but using that and going forward and moving forward with additional things to add to those outcomes metrics. I'm really looking at national quality service pillars and expectations that are mandated by the federal government, seeing how the national quality strategies can really be incorporated into medical education programs or engagement and learning tactics, as I previously mentioned. Really encouraged to see that a lot of people are talking about patient activation and patient engagement and how that's important as part of the medical education process. If you think about the national quality strategy, one of the primary pillars on that strategy is that physicians will get paid or reimbursed by making sure that they show metrics that engage their patients or prove that they engage their patients as part of the treatment decision team. So if patients are going to be part of the treatment decision team, why shouldn't patients be part of the audience of a certified medical education activity in the future? So these kinds of discussions are very encouraging to me as a supporter.
Yeah, it's nice. Everybody so far has mentioned outcomes, but now you're the second the person to kind of bring the patient piece into this as well.
Sure.
So it seems like those are kind of the kind of the two consistent things that people are kind of pointing to.
Great.
Okay, so question number 4. I know that you've been in a lot of different places over the last year. So what has been your best personal learning experience in the last 12 months?
Wow, you're correct. I've been all over the place in the last year, globally and domestically. I've had a great experience of traveling internationally to places like the Middle East and also places that really took me to our headquarters in Europe and certainly observing educational activities domestically that we've supported. But I've had a great experience being part of industry-related meetings as well and talking to folks on both the provider and the supporter side who I respect greatly. And I think to summarize all those experiences, my greatest personal learning experience over the year has been it's okay that I don't have all of the answers. I don't need to be an expert in everything, and I certainly don't want to be an expert in everything. I don't have the bandwidth to actually carry that responsibility. So I want to surround myself or continue to surround myself with really smart, engaged, and innovative people. And I am going to do the best that I can to keep an open mind, to listen to suggestions that others in our industry have, and to learn from those suggestions and to move forward leading in that kind of way.
Now you've just burst your kind of public bubble. You were always the man with the answers.
Okay, well, let's not burst that much, but yes, but I want to make sure that I surround myself with smart people, and I continue to try to do so. And really happy that our industry has a lot of skilled people in it.
Okay, now speaking of surrounding yourself with smart people, you'll be surrounded by three other smart people
Yes.
in your session at CME Palooza
Very
Fall.
excited. Very
So,
excited about it.
what is your vision for this session, and why should learners tune in? I know that this topic has been covered in other industry events in the past. So
Yeah.
what sort of different spin do you think that you guys might put on it, and what sorts of things might you cover that perhaps haven't been discussed at length in the past?
Right. So I have the fortune of being joined by three panelists who are very, very skilled in this industry. People who are very well respected, people who know education really well. Maureen, Griselda, and Patty. And I would like to ask them how their either U.S. or global medical affairs organizations translates the information that's provided to us by providers.
Mm-hmm.
For example, we do not necessarily all have a systematic way of collecting outcomes, and our jobs in the support side really rely on us to be able to translate that information and speak to our medical teams and our leadership in medical affairs so that they can see the impact we're making on clinicians and patients and using the support that we're giving in an effective way. And so I would like to see how they carry that message in their own organizations and how that message helps to not only encourage or increase budget from year to year and maintain that budget in reality, but really help their organization understand that they are making an impact through medical education by using medical education as a tool to help address healthcare reform needs. So that's where I'm going to focus things. And again, surrounding myself with smart people, I expect that they'll bring things up that I wouldn't have even expected to ask.
Great. Okay, now here's for your bonus question.
Great. Let's go.
Okay. Who will be elected president in 2016?
I am going to leave that to the experts because I can't even assume to guess who's going to run. All I can tell you is that we live in a wonderful country and we have the opportunity to vote for somebody in a couple of years.
Okay,
Though I did have...
Yes or no? Will it be,
go ahead.
yes or no? Will it be Sarah Palin?
I'm not going to even take a stumble to answer that. But I will definitely tell you that all politics aside and affiliations aside, I had a wonderful opportunity of meeting President Obama in May. I was part of a small select group of people that had dinner and then were there to hear him address certain questions and got to have an audience with him to address funding from the industry for medical research. And so wonderful to see that our country is so committed to advancing healthcare in whatever way it's going to be advanced, again, regardless of what affiliation you are. And so I hope to have continued conversations like that in the future with both our elected officials as well as our industry professionals.
Always taking the high road, John.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you, Scott.
Just want to remind everyone to don't forget to visit the CME Palooza website for the latest information on our agenda, updates on our speakers, certainly information about our sponsors. Things are changing every week, and things are growing, and we're introducing a lot of new things. And I think both myself and Derek and John and all of our panelists are really looking forward to our event in mid-October, and we will see you then, John.
Sounds great. Looking forward to it.
Okay.